The Films Like True review, The Mule.
It's about a donkey.
It is about a donkey. The life of a donkey.
Well, half donkey, half horse.
Hey team, Vegas Dragon here. Welcome to the Film Slice Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wheelie Kane Dogs, and the man formerly known as Broadman, Kane Dogs. This year, he is known as...
Oh, this name's gonna last a year. That's very tough.
Sorry, apologies. This day he is known as...
Nighty.
Yep.
Nighty.
Night.
Thanks to Nathan
Nighty,
Clinic
night,
again
nighty.
for supplying us with
Nighty.
a ridiculous amount of names that all just sound like each other.
That's how Nighty's mum tucks him in. Nighty.
Why are you there when...
Well, we sleep together often.
Yeah.
So why doesn't she tuck you in as well?
She doesn't like me. We've had a problem for a while. I made bad meatballs.
Yeah.
And she got sick.
Words were said.
This week we are reviewing The Mule. But before we review The Mule, can I do a shameless plug for a friend?
You sure can.
Definitely
Angus,
doesn't
man.
need it. But on my way here today, I listened to the very first episode of a podcast that one of my mates from uni has just started. It's
Okay,
called...
we get it. You went to uni.
Thank you. It's called 20th Century Boy, and it's from a guy called Radio Mike, who's had a very interesting career so far in the 1 or 2 years that he's actually worked on radio, but he's working with Lewis and Luke at the moment, but he also worked with Hamish and Andy,
Really?
and worked with Jack Post, and he started his new podcast, and it is awesome.
So we're telling
It
us...
is so much better than ours.
So you're saying is you're plugging a podcast that will absolutely do better than us.
So for the two...
There goes all our listeners.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Have a good
for
time.
The two people listening to our podcast, definitely head over, subscribe to him on
and
iTunes.
don't come back, you traitors.
That's it. 20th Century Boy. Yeah.
So what do they talk about?
Awesome. So it is all about kind of his personal life and everything, and kind of stories and all that, and kind of how a young adult grows up in today's society. 20th Century Boy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Relatable?
Yeah. So relatable.
I absolutely can relate to her interviewing with Hamish and Andy. And
But
awesome.
like he also
Speak for
talks
yourself.
about like other things like, you know, anxiety and stuff. And it's only the first episode, so I think he's still kind of trying to figure it out, but it is freaking awesome. So definitely suss that out.
Is that on iTunes and all of that?
iTunes, YouTube.
I'll
He even got
subscribe
on
right now.
Spotify somehow. We're not on Spotify. I don't know how to get on Spotify.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'll suss him out.
Anyway, go over there, tell him if we're any good.
So, so that podcast again?
20th Century Boy. Yeah, suss it out. He is probably one of the funniest people I know.
It's the first thing that comes up when you type in the number 20, which is very impressive.
It's good.
So I'm going to subscribe to that now.
Yeah.
He's subscribed to us, right?
I'm
John-
I'm unsubscribing
John,
now.
I'm not going to
Unsubscribing.
lie to you. The chances are quite low.
We haven't subscribed.
He has. He's definitely subscribed. If not, we'll make him.
Awesome.
All right,
Ooh.
moving on. This movie, Kane Dogs, IMDb summary, The
absolutely.
Mule. Hit us up.
All right, can do
Clint
that.
Eastwood, baby.
T-H-E-N-U-L-E.
He's still kicking.
All right.
Still kicking on.
A 90-year-old horticulturalist, nailed it, and Korean War veteran is caught transporting $3 million worth of cocaine through Illinois for a Mexican drug cartel. He's getting on.
Yeah, but he's pretty fit for carrying 300 kilos of cocaine.
He's just like
should've seen
a
the
mule. They chuck it on his back
Yeah.
because he can carry it.
Has to crawl on all fours.
Crawling off walls. Poor Clint's really riding himself straight into the ground.
Yeah.
I just want to say that there are other films that came out that we have not done, but I saw, because I saw 3 movies this time around. So if you want to see the review for Dragon Ball Super Broly or the review for Free Solo, that one was quite good. Both of those reviews are up on the Facebook page.
Very good. Let's stop these shenanigans because they're going on far too long. When did you see the movie and what did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
I saw the movie with Brody Saturday night. I think it was Saturday
He
night.
says confidently.
Yeah. We saw it together. It wasn't playing at our local cinemas, so we banded together to go to a slightly further cinema, and Brody's
good.
mum paid. she didn't come, but she paid. It was very nice of her.
Oh, that's nice.
And
She doesn't even tuck me in.
I thought it was good.
Well, she likes Jordan.
I thought it was good.
Oh, very good. Broadman, when did you see the movie? What'd you think?
Yeah, I saw it on Saturday night. and I enjoyed it, but it's definitely not for everyone, as it is a quite slow character piece.
Definitely. Yes, I saw this yesterday night, last session in Geelong, of all places.
Geelong?
Yeah, I decided
drive.
to go somewhere else, you know. Why not spend 2.5 hours in the car?
Yeah.
So, but I saw this with my dad, and I paid.
Oh.
And then he reimbursed me half, so that's pretty even. So that's good.
Yeah.
And then Brody's mum paid him.
So I enjoyed it. I do agree with you, Broadman, and Dad agrees with you that it is kind of a slower piece, and it doesn't really have like peaks and troughs of action, and it's a very, very character driven piece, and because he is quite old. Quite slow. Like, imagine it's an old lady crossing the road in the form of a movie.
But with 3 mil of cocaine.
I likened
Yeah.
it to rolling a basketball across a gym that is slightly slanted.
Yes.
So it's moving, and it'll get to the other side. And all you can do is you can't
Just
help but
hope
watch
no one
it.
kicks it.
You can't help but watch it roll.
Very
But
good.
it's not the Clint Eastwood you remember.
Yeah, it's not. He's
not going to be.
He's not Dirty Harry.
He's not. No, he's clean.
Clean John.
Clean John. He's not the old fistful of dollars.
That's it.
remember.
Lads,
Open palm full of cocaine.
Fistful of cocaine.
lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and not Twitter this week what movie we're reviewing, and if any of the Slicey Slices out there have seen it, let us know what they think. I put it up this morning, and as you can guess, I got nothing.
Nothing.
Cool.
Didn't expect anyone else to see this.
I should really try to do it sooner. Did any of the Slicey Slices reach out to you on Facebook?
Yeah, no, I put it on Facebook. Asked people whether they saw it and what they thought, and no one has seen or heard of this.
No, I
That's
didn't
nice.
expect much.
No, it's not playing at any of our local cinemas. It's not really advertised either. I don't think I'd seen a trailer at the cinemas, or
Yeah.
I think the most I'd seen maybe was a billboard at a
And to
cinema.
be honest, Bohemian Rhapsody is still showing.
It's still going, yeah.
And there is also sing-along sessions.
Oh,
So
we're going to that.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would go see this.
Can
when
we
you could
dress up
see-
as
when
well?
you'd see that.
All as Freddie Mercury.
Because we all look so much like Freddie Mercury.
That's it. I'd shave my beard for him. No, I wouldn't. Excellent. All right, let's move on to our next segment. Would you recommend it? Who would you recommend it to? Cane Dogs.
I would recommend it, but not to everybody, as we've mentioned. I think this is a good film to deconstruct. It'll take a bit of deep thought afterwards in order to assess how you feel about all the things that happened in the movie. So if you're someone that likes to go and see some films, to sort of write essays about them or deconstruct them, or you have quite in-depth conversations about them with other people.
Anyway, I
that are
think
also
you would
interested.
enjoy this one only if you're in the mood for a slow film. And, I think that if you're into films as more than just an entertaining way to spend an afternoon not talking to your friends.
Brutal. Very good.
I mean, we then hung out for about 8 hours afterwards, but it's fine.
And he didn't say a thing.
Yeah, he just talked to me that whole time.
I
had an average time.
I would recommend this to people who enjoy Clint Eastwood films. I think Clint Eastwood definitely has kind of a style that he's
that he's
grown into, and this is very
recently,
much a part of this. Very realistic. There's not a lot of kind of big explosions and OTT story themes and everything. Like, it's a very grounded story.
Yes.
I don't think there's one gunshot. Or maybe there's one gunshot. Like, there's not a lot of action.
Well, there's a lot of gunshots, but not a lot of killing people. There's There's only a few people that get shot, and they're not really in exciting action type ways. They're kind of like,
this isn't the type of film.
Don't watch it if you want a car chase, or if you want any big explosions,
you want Clint
or
Eastwood to pull out the rifle and take out an army of dudes. It's
and
not.
say,
it's not
"Are you
gonna
feeling
happen.
lucky?" And all that kind of stuff.
Clint's more recent films have been very much a bit more inclined to talk about what's happening currently in America. If that's kind of like with American Sniper, with being a modern military film talking about veterans,
PTSD and all that
and
sort of
everything,
stuff.
and Gran Torino, talking about people coming up in this new world, and
Definitely.
what they're associating with each other, and then now this one, which is very much a lot of race relations,
and
like not really discussion, but like a light shown on that.
Definitely, definitely.
This film
really cool.
is very much a film you have to be in the mood for. I think that it was lucky that
And
we were both in the mood. Yeah, I think it was lucky that we were both in the mood. For this film, just because it is very slow.
Yeah,
and it's like I reckon a lot of people would not enjoy how slow, because like especially with the current state of movies these days, I reckon that more than ever, it's very noticeable how slow this film is.
Yeah, slow burner, definitely. But doesn't mean it's not a good film. Anything, lads, before we head on into spoilers?
I
think we touched on it.
we're good.
I think we're good. Let's hit into spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
Right, we are in the spoiler section, ladies and gentlemen. You've been warned. Rest in peace. All that jazz.
You've been warned. Shane has warned you.
Shane warned. You've been Shane warned.
We know you're listening.
We know you're listening. I think we've made that joke before.
Yeah, we have.
Episode
I was
5.
referencing it. I'm trying to. Well, if it is the same episode,
Brody's trying to build
into each year, then that'll be amazing.
Brody's trying to build a podcast universe where everything's interconnected.
Yeah, the
FSCU.
The PCU?
The Film Slice Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, FSCU.
Well, it's not cinematic.
No,
the Film
it's
Slice Auditory Universe?
Automatic?
Automatic Universe. The FCAU.
Sounds oddly insulting.
It sounds like, we're insulting all of Australia.
Yeah, fuck them. Alright. Moving on.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Alright, we're in spoilers, lads. Enemy cinema dicks. Starting off. Go for it.
No, hold on. I went into the cinema with Brody. We picked seats together. I got Brody to pick where we'd sit. And we sat. I made sure that I sat so that he didn't have to walk past me. I did everything right, I guess.
I
guess we'll find out. Nutty.
The guy to my right fell asleep during this film. And he did the classic movie trope snort wake up in the middle of the film.
Really?
So
I didn't hear that at all.
He was just like... And I thought it was so funny, but it was like right in the middle of like Clint Eastwood like talking to his like long lost daughter or something. I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Dang.
So it wasn't so much a cinema dick, but cinema. No.
Am I allowed to include cinema dicks from the other two films I went to?
No.
Okay. Well, I saw the other. I saw Free Solo with Jaden, and his is cinema dick.
Cool.
You'll listen to it. It's fun.
Wow.
I had a cinema dick. It wasn't my dad. Don't worry. So there was this elderly gentleman, probably about the same...
son of a bitch.
No, probably about the same age as Clint Eastwood. Around that, like, obviously
and
retired.
They wandered in with 3 mil worth of cocaine.
Around 80s, yeah. No. They came down the aisle, and there was a couple kind of in front of us, and the lady had obviously been wearing sandals or thongs or something like that, and she'd taken her shoes off and put her bare feet kind of leaning them up against the seats in front of her.
I hate that.
Which by itself is like gross, like what the hell.
Yeah.
But this elderly gent came down and started walking down the aisle in front of her, so she put her feet down, like good on her, like yeah, that's nice. Yeah. He ended up sitting in the row in front of her and one seat to the right of her.
Okay, yeah. So like diagonally off to the right.
Diagonally off to the right. And then she proceeded to put her feet back up on the chair in front of her, so her feet were right next to this elderly gent's head.
Yeah. I had someone do that to me.
That guy is a dick.
Yeah. Why would you sit?
Why would you sit? That person
Why would you sit right
their feet
when
up?
someone's putting their feet up? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's pretty shitty of her.
Yeah.
I had someone do that to me in the Tomb Raider film right before someone tried to pick
bare
a
feet?
fight, and bare feet not on
an old man sat in front of him.
Yeah, no, fucking prick. No.
Positives of the film, Cane Dogs, you want to hit us up?
One of my biggest positives, which is sort of just an overall vibe of the film. I really like how Clint Eastwood present. I don't know the technical side enough of it to put my finger on exactly what it is, but his films just feel like they were made back when films were
by Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Like it felt like one of those films that he used to do, just in the way it was presented, in the tone. I think this was done on film as well. It's done on film.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that has helped to the way it's been presented, but
Well,
all of it just felt so real.
Clint Eastwood was like working back in the day when that was the norm.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's done any other movies besides his own. So he probably just thinks that that's the way that movies are made.
But it just feels so great. It's like when you see a Quentin Tarantino movie and it just has the vibe. Quentin Tarantino. Clint Eastwood has his own vibe, like his own feel, and you know
more
when
like
you
an
see
old school vibe.
Yeah,
it's good. I do imagine that he's probably had a number of moments that his character had in this film where it's like the internet and how he like deals with that and like our generation always being on our phones and stuff. And I reckon that Clint Eastwood has very much had a similar experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Even coming up in films when like people started switching over to digital and stuff, and how films would have changed, he probably also had a similar like, why are you guys doing it this way?
Yeah. Another big positive is just a shout out to Bradley Cooper. That guy is awesome. He just is.
just a top bloke. Just a real top bloke.
The way he's able to. It's just one of those things where I've always seen there to be two types of famous types of actors, which is that you get the actors that just tend to play themselves in every role. Then you get actors that...
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, sure. Or, like, there's plenty. But,
I'm just calling out Chris Pratt.
We know you're listening. But Bradley Cooper, every time I see him, even though, like, he's been in most of the Clint Eastwood films of recent, he doesn't... Every time I see him, I'm not like, oh, he's just the same character as the other thing. Every time he presents a new character, he presents it really quickly. It's in depth. I feel like that character has his own set of talents and skills and stuff like that. And that's all down to, the writing, but also I think, you've fucked me with Chris Pratt now. Bradley Cooper's just ability to convey a depth in his characters.
He's worked with Clint Eastwood before as well.
Yeah,
he
was on American Sniper. And again, like a completely different character, even in stature, like the way he puts himself into a character, just displays an amount of depth that isn't in the writing that he just brings to the game.
Bit of a bloody chameleon, if you ask me.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
I just watched it, I was like, this guy's awesome.
He's just a lad. Just a top bloke.
I was saying to Brody on the way home, like, why isn't he more famous than he is? Like,
he's pretty bloody famous.
He's quite famous, but I feel like he should have... It's another one of the things. He should have a franchise. Why doesn't he have he's got, like, the Hangover franchise, and that doesn't do it justice at all.
He did top the music charts, and he's not a musician, so he's pretty bloody good. Broadman, positives of the film. The
Positives. My favourite part, I very much enjoyed the interactions between Clint's character and Bradley Cooper's character. I think every time they were on screen together and they were talking, I think there was only 2 moments, or there was 3 moments where they were in the same... in the same scene.
Yes,
and
3, yeah.
I very much enjoyed it because you could. They were both likable characters, and their interactions were both very likable as well. And there was like a mutual respect for each other, even though Clint was a drug mule and Bradley Cooper was an FBI agent, FBI or DEA. I think it was DEA.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
I think you can also absolutely see a friendship there. Like you can picture, because clearly they have to have some sort of actual rapport, considering how often they work together. They're clearly friends, and I think that comes across really well. That respect.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. My positives, I really like the little gags in it. Like, the funny bits weren't overpowering, and they didn't really seem shoehorned in. Like,
they were very natural, like, real-life comedy moments.
Definitely, yeah. Some of the best ones that I remember is when he's telling what he thinks is a guy how to fix the motorbike, and he's like, son, and she's like, I'm a chick, and she's like, oh, sorry, he's like, sorry, gals, and they're like, we're dykes on bikes, and he's like, oh, cool, see you later, dykes. Yeah. And just walks away. I'm like, that's awesome. And there was, I think my favorite funny bit in this movie was when the cartel guy puts a bug in his truck to see what he's doing, and he's just listening to music, and then they start singing along, and they're just listening to the bug, and then they start kind of singing along. I thought that was fantastic.
There's a part where the whole cinema sort of snickered, and I'm not sure if it was meant to be funny, but it's just Clint Eastwood peeking past a curtain, and it's just a bit of an odd shot because it's just like his face looking past the curtain, and then he ducks behind the curtain, and the whole cinema laughed, like just like a small,
like a little sticky
just a bit of a snicker, but it was quite funny.
Yeah. All right, let's head on into our negatives. Cane Dogs, what didn't you like about the Mule?
What didn't you like about the half-horse, half-ass?
Hold on. Look, not a lot. I think, as we stated at the beginning, this movie's a bit slow. Don't expect any massive shootout at the end. What I was sort of expecting, though, was some of the, not necessarily bad guys, but like some of the cartel to get their comeuppance a bit. Clint Eastwood did a movie called Gran Torino, and at the end, it's sort of set up for a shootout. And you don't have a shootout, but the way Clint Eastwood's character still plays it, that all the bad guys sort of get what they deserve. And I was expecting whether it to be Clint Eastwood or Bradley Cooper's character that sort of delivered that. But I was expecting, just because there are some characters in here that are just proper dicks. Like, just absolute arseholes, and it's sort of, part of the story is about tracking down the cartel, and I did expect there to be a bit more closure about that.
Because it seems like Bradley Cooper's character is about shutting down the whole cartel.
Yeah, the whole cartel.
Really, he's just chasing this one
I did expect there to be, like, once he tracks down Clint Eastwood, even for Clint Eastwood to just be like, yeah, I was heading to this place. I've got their phone. Like, call this number.
Here's everything.
And then he tracks it, and then, like, even if it was just, like, a small montage with some music over the top of it, just to show that some characters got what they deserved, like, even if it was just complete silence, Bradley Cooper just sort of bursting in or arresting the bad guys and stuff like that. The other thing is the guy that sort of gets put with Clint Eastwood midway through the film, one of the cartel characters gets assigned basically to just watch over him.
Yeah.
And you see him slowly build some compassion for Clint Eastwood's character, and I wanted a bit more of what was happening there.
Yeah, it kind of peters off about two-thirds.
Yeah, he delves into the, like, he comes into the story, and then, like, originally you think this guy's going to be a total prick the whole way. And he slowly starts to defend him a little bit and stand up for him, and there's even a part where they're going to basically, they're threatening to kill him, and you can tell that he is sort of against it at this point. And then his character is just not in it for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And I wanted a bit more with that.
Closure on that. Yeah, for sure.
Not a lot of negatives. I think just a bit slow for the ending that they gave us.
I think just jumping on the ending.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree, but I was kind of expecting there to be a bit of a twist or something when the truck was coming down the highway and the police were there. I'm like, okay, he's swapped out. Yeah, he's swapped out the drugs. Like, the drugs aren't in the car or something.
You think the smart thing you do, and Brody said this, is just pick a different, like, swap cars?
Yeah.
You said that, you just swap
or something.
Jordan, please don't tell people my secrets into how to smuggle things between state lines.
But you're right, though, because as you said, like, once you've driven past, like, 7 or 8 black ute type cars, and they're all being pulled over, you'd at some point be like, maybe I should drive they're clearly onto that. I'll drive a slightly different car.
Yeah.
Just paint it.
Yeah, I was just hoping for a bit more of a twist at the end, and
I think I watched this film expecting it to be a build-up.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. It was as we said, quite naturally just a straight line. But I watched it as if there'd be a climax of some sort. So when there wasn't, I felt a bit empty-handed at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Birdman, negatives. What didn't you like about it?
I would like to go last this week, cool. Angus. I was wondering what your negatives were.
Sure thing. Well, I had something similar to Cane Dogs, where there wasn't like that much of a climax, so it's still pretty steady. Like, just kind of the way that the movie is, I guess. Not like the worst thing. No,
it's the worst thing, I guess.
I really didn't like that he changed over his truck at the start, because it was like this really nice old, like really rusted kind of old-timey Ford truck that he had. And the first time he came in to talk to the cartel and everything, they're like, is this car even going to make it? And he's like, nah, this car's like been everywhere. I've been everywhere. Like, had this real connection with the car. I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, he's a mechanic, kind of like one of those old guys that just keeps working on his truck and like just keeps his. And I would have liked that truck to become like a character, for like there to be like
a
actually things that he kind of.
You're looking for an old pickup truck. What color is it? Rusted.
Like rusted, yeah, or like. There was like compartments that he made over time and stuff like that. I would have liked that kind of camaraderie between him and his truck, but no, after the first one, he gets the money and he's like, well, better buy myself a brand new truck.
Just jumping on the truck bit, the other thing is when I watch it, I'm like, oh, the reason he's going to be a great mule is because it's the type of car and the type of person no one would think to pull over.
Yeah.
But then he buys an absolute drug mule car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it would have been good if they're like, yeah, we're looking for, like, all we've got is that it's a ute. Like, it's truck. Look for a truck. And, like, everyone would be looking
People
for
are like,
those
is
kind
that
of
even a
black
truck?
Yeah. It's like 4 wheels and a... I don't know.
Couple of doors.
Okay.
And a
4 wheels,
tin can.
couple of doors.
4 wheels, couple of doors, bit of a roof, steering wheel, some engines.
There's
Nice
an engine.
patina.
Yeah, probably about 4
Cup holder.
pistons, 6 pistons. Yep.
Pretty sick tray.
We know about cars.
Car stuff. Steering
stuff.
wheel.
Welcome to the Car Slice podcast.
Welcome to the Car Stuff Podcast.
It's got at least one blinker. And then the other thing that I wrote down as a negative was there was this really weird scene where Clint Eastwood's character went to where the drug cartel's main guy is, and it's like this party scene, and the camera just kept on panning down to butts.
Down to butts, yeah.
And like it did it once or twice. I'm like, okay,
It was like a
it's like
minute
high
of
rolling kind of thing. It just kept on going down. I'm like,
Yeah.
we know.
Do you think that's Clint Eastwood being like, I don't get many opportunities I've got this many actresses here.
It just came off so creepy when Clint Eastwood was just like, oh okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like
Alright.
with 2 women in his
Yeah.
room and stuff like that. And
Okay. And then there was that weird scene in the bedroom where like the girl just takes off her top because
Yeah, like random
nude scene,
Yeah, movie
I guess.
nudity. Yeah.
And like, yeah, again, like it's probably just Clint Eastwood being like, it's not gonna happen in reality, so I gotta write this in somewhere.
it's like how
That's the one bit in the writing credits that he's credited for.
It's like-
He's like Clint Eastwood. He wrote the nudity scene.
it's like how Joseph Gordon-Levitt had one opportunity to write and direct a movie, and he wrote a movie about him getting laid with Scarlett Johansson just a bunch of times.
Broadman, your most negative.
My name's Nighty, but I'll
Nighty,
take it anyway.
sorry.
So
Yeah, this
last
is going to be a running joke that no one likes.
So last week we reviewed a film called Glass, and after we saw it at the cinema, like it came out, and I thought it was like okay.
Brody
And then-
has more negatives for the movie Glass.
And then when we did the podcast, I thought it was like a little worse than okay. And now that we're here over a week later, I think that film was shit. So my negative for the Mule is that Glass was shit enough to cross over to multiple podcasts.
The other thing is
it's so bad. Now that I'm thinking back on it more and more, I like it less and less.
Sweet, that's what we thought of The Mule. Good combo, lads. Next week, we're going to be reviewing Green Book, which is an Oscar nominee. So, Slicey Slices, if you've seen it, let us know what you think.
Yep. It is about the illustrator for the first Lord of the Rings book when it was released in the 20s or 30s.
Really?
No, that is completely
none of that is correct.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
It is about
nothing to do
an
with that.
ex-Russian mafia mobman who has to protect a new black piano player.
That's not even.
But it is the guy
That's not as
from-
fun as the Lord of the
But it
Rings
is,
thing.
it is one of the actors from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
It does have Viggo Mortensen in it.
Sorry,
so there you
Viggo
go.
Mortensen. Sweet. All right. Catch us then.
Great.
See you next week.
See ya.
Ciao.
Love your
Bye.
faces. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. If you enjoyed that, we put one of these out every week for some reason.
Tasty, tasty treats.
We're doing another one
Get
next
them while they're hot.
week. Anyway,
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, bye. That'll do.